We serial killers are your sons, we're your husbands, we are everywhere. And there will be more of your children dead tomorrow, says Ted Bundy, one of the more infamous among the American serial killers. Not many people stop to think that there are killers around, surrounding them, surrounding us. Serial killers have a knack for not getting caught for a while, which is exactly why they sport the name serial killer. They are able to kill numbers. Although, without all this being said, we cannot put serial killers into one small mold. They are individuals with their own ideals and lives. What could possibly go through someone's mind to make them want to end the lives of so many innocent victims? Some killers say they do it for fun, while others do it for sexual needs. Some simply just say they hate everyone and everything, and others love the feeling of empowering and God-like figures. Whatever the case may be, every serial killer has a past and a reasoning behind their course of killing. It could stem from their abusive and lonely past, sexual and religious desires, mental illness, or even signs of trauma to the head. Having knowledge of those cold-blooded killers may help to look out for signs to detect a future serial killer and facilitate knowledge to the ones who just can't understand why they kill. Today I will inform you about the attractions serial killers have to killing and why. According to WiseGeek.com, a sociopath is a person who has antisocial personality disorder. The characteristics include they disregarded for the rights of others. Sociopaths are also unable to conform to what society defines as a normal personality. Antisocial tendencies are a big part of the sociopath's personality. This pattern usually comes into evidence around the age of 15. If it is not treated, it can develop into adulthood. We ask question upon question, thriving to know why the killer ended up how they did. Were they all victims of a disturbing childhood? While many cases show that certain serial killers had an abusive, neglectful encounters of being raped or molested with their past by those that they were close to, others had a pleasant childhood with a good home and family. Take Ted Bundy. He claimed he had a great childhood for many years, but the facts were that his actual mother he thought to be his sister, and he never grew up to know his biological father. There was an interview comprised of 7 different serial killers, and out of all 7, only 2 were said to have had good childhoods, and those 2 were adopted at a very young age, according to Beasley II and James O. At a young age, serial killers show signs of sociopaths and psychopath traits. Usually the children are socially awkward and do not know how to interact with the other children, causing them to be lonely. While being lonely, the young children usually find torture victims, and they're often animals. The killing of animals is the training of the killing of a human. After a while, they move away from the torture of animals and begin to torture other children around them, later leading to torturing strangers and killing those poor innocent strangers. According to Zelda G. Knight, author of Some Thoughts on the Psychological Roots of the Behavior of Serial Killers as Narcissists and Object Relations Perspective, states, serial murder is the killing of 3 or more people over a period of more than 30 days, within a significant cooling off period. Serial killers are often sexually driven, and usually women are the direct targets for killings. The women that are direct targets for killings are usually prostitutes that walk on streets. Gary Ridgway, who is known as the Green River Killer, and also the serial killer with the most accounts of murders, of a skyrocketing number of 71, satisfied his sexual needs through prostitutes. He felt that no one in the world cared about prostitutes, so it would be easy for him to dismantle and kill them, and the society wouldn't mind or go on search for them, and so he would never get caught. Serial killers have a hatred towards women. Often serial killers have a hatred towards women, which could be due to a couple of reasons. Many killers tend to kill women and rape them, either dead or alive. One of the reasons for this is because the killers had a strange relationship with their mother when they were growing up. Either the mother was never there for the child, the mother was abusive, or the mother kept such a tight string around the child that the child didn't know any better from their own mother. Edward Gein had a love-hate relationship with his mother, who taught him to steer clear of all women because they were evil. He was interested in the female anatomy and started to have sexual fixations. He began digging up graves of women, including his mother's, and experimenting on their bodies. Later, he felt that he wanted to be a woman, so he would take the skins and put them on him. But he decided he wanted fresh skin, which led him to serial killings. They also might have animosity towards women because they have never really been sexually satisfied with needs of women because of their sociopath-like traits that keep them from being around or impressing anyone else. It was said that Ted Bundy would go to a body dump site, put makeup on a dead body, and then have sexual intercourse with the body. While there are many incidents of homosexual serial killings, there are just as many, if not more, cases of young boys being raped and killed by older men. Many serial killers find a liking to young boys because they want the feeling of overpowering them, or they also feel that if their childhood was taken away, so should every other boy's. John Wayne Gacy, Jeffrey Dahmer, and Albert Fish are all three the most famous serial killers in the United States of American history to practice on young children. Jeffrey Dahmer is one of the most well-known serial killers. He has dozens of films, books, television series that have either referenced him or have been written about him. Attracted to Asian and African American boys, he would catch his young victims and torture and rape and kill them. His torture methods were very crude. He would force sodomy upon the boys, then detach all of their limbs. Their bodies were dismantled, and he would then have sex with the dead bodies. Coral Eugene Watts was a different story. He was a black male that sought out to kill his usual prey of white women. He said that the women had evil in their eyes, and he would drown them in tubs full of water to keep their evil spirits sustained and unable to leave. He enjoyed the animal instincts of hunting and killing his prey. David Berkowitz also killed women because of his spiritual views. He thought that the howling of the dog meant that he needed to kill the women because the dogs were demons and he needed to quiet them up, and the only way to was to kill the women. Obviously, all the serial killers show signs of being a sociopath, killing for sex and religion, or experiencing a bad childhood. Our nation thrives on entertainment and loves to bring a sense of fear into the home without being harmed. By doing so, they take the born celebrity, famous serial killers, and turn them into iconic figures through the film and books. We can't help but to be intrigued by the sociopath and killers because we could never imagine or never actually commit a crime such as taking away lives of a kind that we belong to. It boggles our minds thinking of the reasons behind the killer. We love that we don't understand, and serial killers are quite a mystery. So reading, watching, and listening to their lives is anything but boring. How are we to know exactly why a killer kills if they themselves are unable to give a well-thought-out explanation?